Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchtix.com. I love it when things come together, and you're in for a real treat today because inside this box is the new TickTalk 4 smartwatch. And why is that so exciting? Because in just a few hours, it's going to launch on Kickstarter. Yep. March the 9th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you're watching this before that date, you're going to want to head on over there because, as you know, on Kickstarter, the first few, 10, 20, 50, depends on what they want, will be at an insanely inexpensive price. So we are privileged to have an actual unit for unboxing today of what isn't even launching for a few more hours. What is it actually? It's the TickTalk 4, and it says everything kids want and parents need in one smart device. Text, talking, tracking, introducing free streaming music powered by our iHeartRadio, step tracking, 2 separate 5-megapixel cameras, new parental controls, and so much more. It's launching, like we said, March the 9th, 9 a.m. on Kickstarter. You could sign up, but by the time you're watching this video, I think you just head on over there and get it. Now, let me tell you something as we unbox it, and I'll show you a little bit more stuff in a moment. This is actually a watch for caregivers. Yeah. Now, a caregiver can be a parent of a child who needs care. But a caregiver can also be a child of a parent who is in a home for the elderly that can't take care of themselves. Or they're independently living, but just barely, and they need to be looked after. Or a family member that just has some difficulty coping with life and needs to be checked up on periodically. Any kind of a caregiver would be interested in what you're about to look at because the device can slap on the arm of someone who needs care and watching. And this will allow all kinds of communications, like I said, calling and texting, as well as emergency SOS warnings and calling from the device itself. Inside this box, I got a few things. Oh, here you go. Here's some information for follow-up. You're going to go to myticktalk.com is their website. We're going to have a link in the show notes directly to the Kickstarter. You got support at that address. You got a toll-free phone number, and it's in California this watch is coming to us from. So you've got a mainland number as well. Okay, a little bit more information here on about charging it. Here now we have a thing called a power base. And this is what you're going to set it on to charge it. And it's really made for very simple. For either somebody really, really old and not knowing how electronics works, or somebody really, really young just deciding, then discovering what electronics are, right? So in here's a little simple power bank that you're just going to set the watch on. And then we've got a little box of chums. What are chums? They're little stick-on things, kind of to make it a fun toy, a fun enhancement, and get those that may be a little bit more technologically challenged to adapt a little bit more because they can be creative in making it look the way they want. Okay, and a really big box that, when you graduate, you can use as a graduation hat. Sure enough, and I think you'll graduate by the time you learn how this thing works because they have an extensive FAQ and guidance and support for setup on a website. I'll have the link to get directly to this. Let's actually get into it. So it's covered with a sleeve. We take that off, and then we've got, wow, really nice reflective black. It says TickTalk. Let's get connected. Scan me. And so this is how you're going to get into this thing to get it all set up. If you need help, there's a lot of resources on how to do that. Thank you. Simple. Inside here, we open this up, and wow, I love their packaging. It's so much fun. Okay, here's a SIM lid opener to put in a SIM card in the watch, and then here's the charging cord. It's only 2 pins, magnetic coupler, and Here we go. Here's the watch. Here it is. Nice. This is the black one. And speaker. It defines where everything is, it looks like, on it. Open that up. It looks like we've got a cover that we can remove. Now, okay, I'm going to have to double check that. Oh, there's a screen protector. That's just a cover on the top of that. We have TickTalk 4. Now, I think on the back of it, there may be my IMEI number, which we don't want to disclose because that's unique to each device. So I have that covered. But you can see we got the SIM card slot there, the pins for charging. Looks like we've got a camera on this side, a camera there, a camera there. Can't be two cameras. I don't know. That's a microphone probably. Buttons and so forth. And that's it inside the box. Okay. There we go. I cleaned the screen up real nicely. We press the power button and it'll come on. Now I've done a whole lot of setup work on this, both for the watch and the app, to get it to the point where we can just turn it on and go in and use it. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to go through all of that. That's a huge tutorial in itself, and the company has done a great job of breaking it down step by step. So follow the video link. Okay, got my attention. Follow the video link down below to their website where they talk everything about how to put your SIM card in. You saw the little tool to open it up, which ones are compatible, what they recommend, all the way up to setting up an account on the watch, an account on the app, and linking the two together over Bluetooth, setting this up on Wi-Fi. It's all there. But here we are, and I want to show you what this thing can do. Now, first of all, it is made for smaller arms, ladies. Yeah, look at that. So it's not actually going to fit. It's really tight on mine, but that's okay. Again, we're looking at caregivers for this that could be helping out everyone from great-great-grandparents all the way down to the tiniest little kids that could wear this thing. But once you've got it with a loved one that's going to wear it, and you have it all set up and put it on, we're good to go. Now, you've got two buttons on the side. This bottom red one is going to be for emergencies only, and it has to be set up for that. The top one is basically your power and your back button. And there is a way, if you have it set up, you can actually have it dial 911 too. You can turn that feature off so it doesn't happen accidentally. But if you want it to be available for emergency, this watch with the SIM in it literally can contact 911. So we got the two cameras on the top, a bunch of different gears on here to hold the band in. Sweet little watch. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to show you that if I pull down from the top, this is the notifications area. If you have anything pushed from the phone, which will typically be pushed from the app, because this is not your normal watch that's going to be on the internet and do internet browsing and all that other stuff. No, it's restricted to the age groups of people who don't really understand fully the problems you could get into surfing the web and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty much a communications and information device back and forth to the caregiver that has the administrative privileges in the app. This is some of the stuff. It's showing you what you got battery level. I got a 4G SIM in it from Red Pocket. That's one of them that they use and recommend, an inexpensive route to get a data and voice and texting SIM in here. I show it tethered to the phone right now using the cellular is right here, and of course down here I've got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth as well, and a volume control, so you can turn the volume up and down however you'd like it. There's totally mute, and there's full volume. And then it says music here. We'll get into playing music later. That we got to by swiping up. So I go down and I go up. Those are those two things. Go to the right, there's nothing, but I go to the left and I get into the app drawer. Now check this out. It's all icon driven, so we have to learn what these icons are, and we will. There's 4 per page, and they look sort of intuitive, but yeah, we really got to go through and understand what each of them do, and there's several pages of them. until you reach the end, and that's it. Now you can press the button, turn it off, press it and turn it on, and it'll take you right back to the watch face. And that's the operation of the watch. There's nothing else. You can't press and hold and do anything. You can't double tap and do anything. So it's going to be really, really easy for anybody to operate as long as they have a finger and some dexterity that lets them slide it on the screen. So let's dive in. The first thing we've got is a gallery for pictures and your cameras. So I'm going to turn the camera on. Smartwatch ticks. Going to activate that. Oh, okay. This is a camera calling. Oh, this is for calling. Okay, see, I got to learn the icons myself. I can do a voice call or a video call from the watch to the administrator, Smartwatch ticks, on their phone, and it'll ring anywhere in the world. We'll do that in a little bit. But let's come back here. Okay, and any other contacts that you have here would appear that are authorized for the watch to be able to communicate with, and they, like Mr. Ticks, would be running the app on their phone connected anyhow to the internet, cellular or Wi-Fi from their region, and be able to communicate with this watch. So if it's a family, it could be mom and dad. If it's an extended family, it could be grandson-in-law and Uncle Tom for great-grandma Martha, who's in a care home. Whatever the situation is, you can set up, I understand, up to 50 different people in here. Oops, I touched something. So this is your contacts book, and this is your video calling. This is your text chatting, and I have the watch set up, and I've got a conversation already going with Smartwatch ticks. So the watch is set up for Grandma Apu. That's her nickname, and so that's what we called it on here. So Apu is going to wear the watch, and Mr. Ticks or great-granddaughter is going to actually communicate. So I set it up and I tested it, and I said, "Hi, Apu." And then Apu, there's her little picture, from the watch, made a reply. But of course it was me.
Hi, this is a test of a voice recording.
Now it's a little soft, but music comes through really, really loud. But you can actually hear it when I'm not speaking so loud into the camera. So you can have a conversation going. We'll take a quick look at that as well. And you can do all kinds of things. Text reply, voice reply, whatever you like. That's here in messaging. And then this is a form of group chat. So if you have more than one watch, a family of people all connected together, and you can add additional contacts in here, you can do group type activity as well. And that's the whole first page on communication. Now we come over here and we've got the gallery, all right, and the camera. So pressing that gives us a look around the room. You've seen that view before. I really should put something pretty to look at. This is the forward-facing camera on the top, like we want on Android watches, but nobody but the Genesis and Prime 2 have it so far. Anyway, yeah, I'm frustrated by that, but it's great to see it on a kid's type of a watch, huh? And I have the front-facing camera, which I should be able to change right here. And then there I am with my selfie. Now, this is the same kind of view that you'd be seeing if we were making a video call back to Mr. Ticks on the phone. And this would be Apu talking to Mr. Ticks. And that's what they would see on the other end as well. So the video chat capability coming right from here is good quality video. It actually works. Okay, we'll take pictures and stuff later too. This is in and out box. I'm not sure. It says you have not received a greeting card yet. Oh, okay. Well, haven't played with that feature yet. This is where you can send a greeting card, birthday or happy Halloween or whatever. It's another little way of playing on this. And this one is a basic calculator. So you can, Oh no, that's the sound of touch tones. This is where you can actually make a phone call. If it's authorized, yeah, you can set it so that only authorized people can call in or be called from the watch, but this is it. This is where your touchpad is, and you can make the call right from there. Still learning these icons. I thought it was a calculator, but that's coming up. Here we go into this thing called Family, and you need to connect to Wi-Fi and then come back for music. Okay, this is the music player. And I got to turn Wi-Fi on. One of the things about this watch to give it better, longer power is once you leave a Wi-Fi zone that you're connected to, it will disconnect to save power. When you come back, it does not necessarily automatically reconnect. You have to do that in settings, which is coming up next after we take a look at fitness. This does have a pedometer step count in it, and you can get your daily, weekly, or monthly steps and challenge your senior to stay healthy, to keep bones strong by walking 5,000 steps a day. That's what it's set for right now, almost there. Your child, to get them introduced into healthy lifestyle. There's so many sedentary and obese-leaning children in the world that, wow, it'd be great to have an incentive to stay healthy. You see the timeout. I got to touch it regularly to stop that. Settings is here, and then this is reminders. So you can set up reminders from the phone, push to the watch to remind your kid, your adult, your senior about whatever it is they need to be reminded about, and that's available too. So let's dive into settings. We're leaving the icon-based world and going into words. So far, my understanding is we've got English and Spanish on this watch, but there's a lot of firmware updates coming, so it probably will expand to other languages soon. There's an overall About Me. When I go in there, that's got things like my IMEI number and other information, my login stuff, all of that. Home screen is where we have a selection of the different watch faces that you can put on this watch. Without belaboring it, I'll just scroll through and show you have some digital ones, some analog, and then you got these really playful, colorful ones, and I'll show you my favorite coming up. In fact, we'll go ahead and select it. It really is kind of a Tron-based. Is Tron outdated? That was my era a long time ago. This one, I love that one. Look at that. And I think that's oh no, there's this one, the purple horse. Oh, yeah. But I'm going to take that one. There's a check mark up there. I don't know if you saw it behind the actual date and time. Then you have overall themes, which is just basically the background behind all of this. This is a red watch, so let's just take that one. You can set time and date, but of course it'll be automatically set when you're tied into the network. Here's your languages, English and Espanol. More to come. Your overall volume level, which I try to make loud. You hear that? That's the ringtone I set. There's alarms. So it's a good, decent speaker. It just, the recording that I was doing was kind of on the low side. If you talk really close, I guess you can get it louder. There's airplane mode. You can turn it on, and now your sound modes. When a call comes in, you can have ring and vibrate, vibration only, or silent mode. That's all on here. Vibrate and ring is what I like. So got that going. Here's your cellular. You can turn cellular data on, of course. And roaming, which is much more expensive, recommend you keep that off. Overall Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. Here's where you basically pair it if you haven't done that yet. Instructions on all of that is covered. There's a update available on the watch. When you first turn it on, one of the things I went through was to go through the process of doing an operating system update. So make sure you do that. Check for that. What we're looking at right now is version 4.2.6. I got it. That's the current version. So when you get yours, if it's different and higher than this, then you may have different features than what we're seeing here. I really expect there to be a lot of incremental updates because this thing is just coming out on Kickstarter right now. There's your overall storage. You've got about 5.5 gigabytes of space for holding pictures and videos and things, and you can transfer those up to the cloud because that's available too, and then take it down from the cloud. You're not going to leave it there. It's not like Google Photos, a huge multi-gigabytes, but it's enough to put stuff up there. You can clean the cache file if there's any in there. And you can edit the APN. This is part of getting your cellular to work right. Again, see their instructions on that. And you can reset the whole watch. So that's not really a place for your caregiven subordinate to go to. The elderly, the kids, they're not going to play in systems, hopefully. In fact, it would be good. And it may be that there's a way to lock that one out or even make it invisible on the watch, because some of the stuff kids could play with, the backgrounds and whatnot, but you don't want them messing with the APN, for example. So we've covered that page. Here you go. There is the calculator. Yeah, that picture looks just like a calculator, right? And it works. It's making a little bit of a tinkle sound. Okay, and you get numbers and whatnot, and it works. No logarithms or anything. This is a basic countdown timer that you can set different levels of time that you want and have it beep at you when it expires. This is a count up stopwatch, and you can start it. You can get lap times on it if you want to. You can reset it. If you leave it and then you come back into it, it resets to 0. So it's not a stopwatch you can run in the background. Once you activate it, you need to keep it on. And this is your basic calendar, month and year, and you can actually go into the edit mode and just switch to a different year if you want to, and come out of that, and it'll switch to that month of that year. So if you want to check out what day somebody was born, you can go back to the month of their year and look up the day and figure it out. Pretty fun, huh? And then you got this last little feature here, which I'm not sure. I believe this is all about binding to another person who has a watch like this. And when you do this whole radar scanner thing, if they've got theirs in this mode, it's supposed to go around and find where they are and how close they are and what direction. I guess it's the modern way of playing hide and seek, right? Okay, so it's searching and didn't find anybody because we don't have another watch like this in the world. Yeah, this is like one of the first ones out there. Love that watch face. So we have covered all of the different apps that are in here, and we have covered the notifications and the basic operation. Let's take a look now at the app. You can download this directly from the Google Play Store. Just put in TickTalk or use the link in the show notes down below and just click on it and take you over there. This is the Play Store description of it, so I wanted you to see it before I go into it. It's got a What's New section that's pretty robust, so it explains what the most recent updates are and kind of about the app. So it's the TickTalk 3 app now being implemented for TickTalk 4, which is the newest watch. So expect to see some additional updates to the app over time. And as you can see, it does service for universal bands, the voice calling, the face talk, two-way video calling feature. Boy, there's a lot we got to take a quick look at, so I don't want to spend too long here. History, waterproofness, replaceable bands, and it's been out, last updated in January, and over 10,000 downloads, and been out since December 2018. So it's a seasoned app that's had some time and practice, just like the version 3 of the TickTalk. So this level 4 is a nice enhancement over all of that. Are you ready? Ta-da! All right, here you are. Once you're with the app and it's set up and you open it, it's going to show you where your watch is located against the Google map, either in the full satellite view or the standard regular Google Road with things identified view. You can toggle on and off here. There's Mr. Tick's house. And this is the forest all around here. As many of you know, I live way out in a rainforest at the base of a mountain on a deserted island. At least I wish it was deserted. Getting into Costco is crazy sometimes, especially during pandemic time. This is a page that you kind of go to. You press that button. It's going to update the location of the watch. By the way, you have to have an icon on here. Usually you put your face in here. I used the picture of the watch for mine for now. And, of course, I got Apu in there. Her a granddaughter who lives far away and misses her dearly can put this app on her phone, and when Apu starts using this, they'll be able to video chat with each other and just have a ball. So it's really going to get some use out of this in this first month or so to just kind of test it out fully of somebody that's considerably elder and doesn't understand technology, and somebody that's preteen, old enough to be able to work with the phone, but it could have been somebody that's a 3-4-year-old that's using a watch as well, and they could be talking watch to watch without even knowing about this interface that a caregiver is setting it all up. Just lots of possibilities, folks. So a second watch would be here. You can locate those, and then me is going to be your icon. This is something that can track a path, and of course you saw me toggle on and off the satellite view or not. Come over here to messages. Here's Apu. Here we go with the different messages that we were doing, and I can hold and record. Hi again. I'm checking back to see how you're doing. And I can. It just came through. New message. I guess I got to go to messages, which would be here, Smartwatch, and play it.
Hi again. I'm checking back to see how you're doing.
So I can send icons or emojis back. I can do all kinds of things. That's going to happen. Boom, boom. So your standard messaging techniques with the addition of sending voice through a microphone, pictures if you want to, through a camera that I can switch over here and say hi and take my picture and save it and send it. And there you go. Pretty sharp, huh? What a handsome dude. Oh, oh. Why is it when we look at ourselves? Oh, well, you know how it goes. So there's an idea of kind of what it's going to look like for video chat, too. So we've got back and forth, sound, pictures, text, and emojis. The next one is group chat. If I put on this and I have other people connected in, I could actually conduct a group chat on this. And then we get to phone calls. We come into phone calls. Now, you can make a voice call, a Wi-Fi call, so you don't use a SIM card. You can do face talk over Wi-Fi, and this thing called super hearing. Now, as I understand super hearing, it's a mode that you can set it in as an administrator that will call your phone from the watch in a way that the watch is not making the call. I mean, it's not obvious. So, in a sense, you're eavesdropping. It gives you the chance to check and see what's going on the other end. What is the audio like without disturbing the other person? Seriously, if somebody's convalescing or you're concerned about your child and where they are and what's going on in their life, you could use that. But be very careful with it because it's a silent type of a thing. Let's try the face talk. So, Smartwatch Tix is attempting to get call from Smartwatch Tix to Apu. Hi. Oh boy, we're going to have audio. Okay, I'm going to lean back for a minute and you're going to see me really close right here on the watch. And I can mute this, I think. I can turn it down anyway. There, I turned the volume down on the watch. So this is what it will look like for doing a video chat, and this is what it will look like here when I'm holding the phone. So this is me with the phone, and you're seeing what it looks like on the watch, and that's way too much. Okay, that's the face talk. Pretty cool. And then finally you've got reminders. You can do custom reminders. Click the plus symbol at the top to start. And you can do all these kind of things, limited to 500 characters, alarms will go off, and so forth. Default, custom, let's do a default. Interests, party time, next. And you get icons, and you get all this kind of stuff. You can repeat it, put it on when it is, and so forth. Basically, you're just setting up alarms, but you're doing it remotely from the phone to push to the watch. So that's reminders. Now we're going to come all the way back here to contacts. When you tap here, you get 2 primary contacts you can set up, and then an SOS contact. This is the contact when you put this in that if you press that bottom button will be called automatically. And you can have up to 50 different contacts in addition to this that you add with the plus sign, and you can edit it if these are not appropriate titles for who these primary and secondary people will be. But this is what you set up as the contacts that the individual that has the watch, child, senior, whoever, could activate a one-touch button contact to immediately reach them. Wow, you see when I come back it bounces all over the place, both of us. The error circle is fairly large, maybe 50 feet, 100 feet. I mean, this is a whole house, and it's got me outside right now, and Apu is way up in the forest. But it's in the general vicinity, and generally this is first tried, they try to find you by Wi-Fi, and if they can, then that's what they use to avoid using up battery in invoking the GPS. But when you're out in the Tules, it'll get you GPS, and it's actually much better accuracy. The lowest accuracy is if they have to go to a cell tower and just hit it with the cell tower. So the last thing I want to show you, and probably the most important, is this one. That gear takes you into your overall setup settings. This is big. This is where, as an administrator, you literally control everything that goes on with the watch. You've got a remote control where you can turn it off, reboot it, or cancel it, which we're going to do. You've got custom text responses that you can set up so the individual with the watch can just select them and send it without having to type in, "I'm fine," "I'm at lunch," "I'm in the park," whatever. You know, you set those up. Here's those greeting cards for that one icon. Tells you how you can go about creating a greeting card to send seasonally or around holidays or birthdays or those kind of things. You can set up a do not disturb system here where when you turn that on, the watch is dead except for the emergency calling. So the child, the adult, the senior is not going to be preoccupied playing with it. You can use it for reward or punishment or when they're in school or whatever. Your discretion as the administrator, caregiver who's operating this from the app. This is where you can have approved other people that can administer this. If you're a family unit and you're in a trusted partnership that you're overseeing an individual and either one of you wants to be able to do the administration, you can add permissions for another person. Otherwise, you can give people basic use to be able to communicate and maybe send a greeting card, that kind of stuff. Your overall location mode, you have 2 choices. You can have it in tracking mode, which I have right now to test it out. Every 5 minutes it does an update. Or you can go into this power saving mode, and the only way you'll find it is if you tap it manually, and it just let us know that we switched modes here on the watch. That's a common one, unless you really are tracking somebody who's coming back from the store, or you have a senior at home who tends to wander off and you may need to find them and help guide them on how to get back home. There's so many reasons why you'd need locator mode, and you'd need it on to check it every 5 minutes or right away whenever you touch it manually. You got the call log for any phone calls that you've made when you set that up. You've got the watch's text messages. Now notice we aren't looking at the messages or any calls that we just did between the watch and the phone within the app. This is for separate SIM card calling and texting. You also will see in here somewhere a firewall that they say you should turn on, which will prevent calls coming in that aren't from an approved list. Here's the T-Cloud. This is a place where you can send backups of pictures and video and whatnot that you've shot from the watch and then retrieve them from the phone from the cloud. And then delete them so you don't use up all your cloud space. You can set a watch password. This is the activity tracker. And look at this. On the phone, you're getting the actual step count information hour by hour of what's happening on the watch, that when we went in there, we just got that information. So you can track all of this on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to help stay on target to keep your bones strong or lose weight or whatever you want to do. Then you got a system reset. You've got this music system built into here, the iHeartRadio family app, and it's only available in the US, but you can restrict it to whatever you want to, and of course set it up for either just Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi and cellular. But remember, that's going to eat against your data plan, so it depends on the SIM you've got in. You need a SIM, deviating a second, you need a SIM that's on the GSM network. They'll explain all that to you when you go through the tutorials. In the U.S., that's AT&T or T-Mobile, and it's got to be a full-on SIM, not a specialty one that you'd put in a tablet or something like that that's data only, because you've got calls and texting and location and all of that. So you need to add a third line to your phone plan if you have two phones right now, whatever, and you can get it to set up like that. So you can do Face Talk. You can restrict it to Wi-Fi only. We did the Face Talk just a minute ago, and that, I believe that was Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi, and it's crisp and clear and fast that way. But you can do it on cellular as well, or you can turn it off, because that really eats a lot of data. You can disable the dial pad so the user of the watch cannot call out. Here's that firewall I was talking about that you can turn on. Well, okay, I haven't. Oh, you got to actually slide it. All right. It says it's turned on now. Firewall is on, and only preset contacts can actually call the watch. And the watch is a real phone number, just like you'd put in a phone. It's exactly the same, but now it's restricted. You can add friends. You got the calculator. You can have it on or not on the watch. You can. This is cool. You can disable the power on-off control. Now on the watch, if I turn it on, and get back here to my watch face. Hello. There we go. I press and hold. I can power off or reboot, right? Simple. But let's say you have it in the hands of somebody who tends to want to do that and not be watched or found or whatever. You can turn off that control. I haven't tried this yet, but let's see. This will be disabled. It says your watch is disabled to be manually shut down. Now when I press and hold, I can't turn it off. I could reboot it, but I can't turn it off. Wow. Okay. So you're in total control on this one. You can deactivate the watch if you want to. You can do date and time. Here we go. 911. There's a special sequence of things you do on the watch that you'll teach your adult, senior, or child if that's appropriate. But remember, you're invoking 911, so false calls will be dealt with. So most of the time, you probably turn that off unless it's a trusted person you know will only use it in an emergency. You can activate it. It's not going to show up on the watch. You have to know how to do it, and you have to know what to do in the right order. And I'm not going to tell you here, but if you follow the tutorials, you'll see. Cellular data on and off. Languages, like I said, there's only two right now, English and Spanish, but more probably will be coming. And that's your TickTalk. Now on your app, you can do all these things. Your profile, notifications, clear the cache. This is the setup videos. You can get to it through the app. But I'll have the link directly if you want. Support, software update. You're going to want to check this. This is the update for the app. Make sure when you download it the first time, it's probably going to be there. And look, it looks like I got a dot here. Oh, okay. It's saying the current version is up to date. Oh, wait a minute. We just did that one. All right. This is the software for the phone, but then there's the software update in the watch that you want to go through and do as well. And, of course, you can sign out from everything, too. And that is the app, basically. So once again, it's coming up in just a few hours, or maybe it's already here, depending on when you're watching this. March the 9th, 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's kicking off on Kickstarter. Your absolute best price is at the beginning if you know how Kickstarter works. So head on over use the link in the show notes, click on into it, and you'll get there. Or just go into Kickstarter and search on TickTalk, and it should come right up for you. Now, in addition to the watch itself, it's got these different options. Just to let you know, we can show you a couple of them. There's the headphones. And by the way, when you Bluetooth tether to the watch, it'll work perfectly, and you can listen to the music in stereo, whatever you like. You've got this TickTalk power base, and you got the chums. So we showed you the box of chums that you can snap onto your watch and customize it, but we didn't undo and show you the power base. So let's pop this thing open. And you know what you're getting if you order this too. I believe this is an accessory that comes with it. Okay, see, it's got the charging cord kind of built into it, and it looks like what we do is we take it off and we line up the pins here and we snap it in. And with this plugged in, it will charge. So maybe a lot easier for some folks who don't have the knowledge and wherewithal to orient the wire properly, can use it this way on the TickTalk dock. Okay, so those are the accessories available. You notice I haven't told you a price. I don't know the price. We don't know the price until actually it comes out on Kickstarter. But we do know the features. So once again, from the top, we've got free streaming music for this thing from iHeartRadio, and they're kids' channels. That's what's kind of fun. It's all kind of kids Disney-like music on it. You have activity tracker with a step count and a championship board so kids can compete against each other. There's 2 different 5-megapixel cameras for photo, for video, and for doing your calls. There's parental or senior advisor controls, and of course SOS calling can be set up with the watch too. Individual and group chats, voice, text, photos, emojis, everything is there. 3-way smart location tracking, cell tower or Wi-Fi or GPS. It'll get you there. It'll let you know where the watch is, either every 5 minutes or you can have it set for manual. You have 2-way voice and HD calling, and things to remember and do not disturb set. If that wasn't enough, I know a lot of you guys are watch collectors. Well, if you have a watch, a smartwatch, that basically is used for cellular communication, you could trade it in for a $30 discount. So read this. If you're interested, you can, trade in an old one and pick up this new one. They got that policy going on, and you can get it even cheaper for whatever the price is. We'll both know together at 9 a.m., so we'll see you over there. Thanks for watching, gang. Okay, I'm putting this at the end because Google's not really keen on playing copyrighted music, and I don't have a choice when I'm going to show you this. So if you're seeing it, it means I made my clip short enough, and Google's letting it happen. But if you're not seeing this, then you don't even know what I'm recording, do you? I'm going to go into that family iHeartRadio thing. It tells you a little bit about eating the battery and getting warm for the watch. If you agree to that, you can say yes, and here we go. We've got all different kinds of channels, entire channels that you can play music from. Look at this. How about Kids Pop? Let's hop in here and listen. Okay, how about something else? Disney Girl Power? Okay, I hope this is working. Disney Workout, awesome. Disney Classical? All right, that's starting off real soft from the Sorcerer's Apprentice, the Philharmonica Orchestra. I haven't said that for years. Oh no, it's still playing. Stop. Okay, that gives you an idea. These are lots and lots of different categories, and you saw in the app, you can limit the playback time to, say, 2 hours a day, or you can set it for unlimited. You can have it stream only on Wi-Fi or stream over data. If you're putting your own SIM, like a third line, unlimited data, you could go crazy and just have music playing all the time, either through the internal speaker or connected to Bluetooth to another set of earbuds or headphones. Yeah. All right, we're done now. Have fun.